Katana versus Longsword. So we're going to do something a little different today. I have a new medium that I'd like to test, and this is one where I'd like to measure cutting depth looking at different lengths along the sword. So if I swing with the sword at roughly the same strength and speed, and we cut with the foible, the center, and then the strong of the blade, will we be able to see how different parts of the blade cut to different depths along it. So this is a rolled, spongy exercise mat, and hopefully this will be consistent enough that we'll be able to measure how an individual sword cuts at different strengths along the way. This is just an experiment because I still have to figure out the rig to hold it. It's going to be working out the kinks, but I thought you guys might like to see how the process iterates. So we have two different swords. We have a longsword, which is quite sharp, and we have the LKChen Tatsu katana. So katana versus longsword, that's what everyone always wants to see. We will find out what difficulties will crop up as we go along, but I think that this medium is a little bit more promising than usual. So this is a Hanwei modified bastard sword using printed armory from Jesse Belsky. So the longsword and the katana. Okay, starting off with the longsword close to the hilt. Doesn't seem any worse for the wear at all. We'll hit it more centrally. Okay, put one tiny nick in it. So it has a tremendous amount of spring, and it just, even though I'm hitting, it's just popping right back up. Yeah, so the foible didn't do anything. Alright, so what's happening is that as I strike it, this just cushions down and springs back up, and it doesn't allow the blade to pass through it at all. Now, this could be a function that this isn't sharp enough, and I kind of doubt that, because as you can see from this branch overhead, this is a plenty sharp blade. So I think that this is just a function between how much absorbency that this has and the fact that my rig isn't very durable, but we'll try with the katana anyway, because that is probably even sharper. But just from the way that the impacts are happening, you can see that it's impacting, it's striking faster at here in the foible. It's going with a higher tip speed, but it has less force, there's less mass in the blade. So if I strike it way out here, it tends to bounce less, even as that time it bounced and fell apart. Whereas if I strike it closer to the strong of my blade, it tends to bounce more and pop up more. I'll try it one more time. The weak. And with the strong. So in general, the strong definitely seems to hit with more force, even if it's not cutting more. Does that make sense? There seems to be less ability to cut out there. Okay, I'll bring in the katana, but I think that unless I have a completely different rig, we're probably not going to see any action. Okay, see if the Tatsu does anything. I would argue that the katana is outperforming the longsword in this test. So that was at the strong. Let's try it with the foible. I only cut through one layer with the foible. I'll cut using the middle part of the blade. Okay. And that went through 3 layers. Okay. Guess what? Keenness in edge makes a big difference. And the longsword I have is sharp. It is quite sharp. In fact, we're going to go back and bring it over here once again to prove everyone. So once again, to show to everyone that this is in fact a sharp longsword here against a common pool noodle. Well, I broke my... To show everyone that this is in fact a sharp longsword here against a pool noodle. This is a plenty sharp longsword. You know, paper cutting sharp at least. But there is a difference in keenness between this edge and the edge of the katana. And if I go back here, I'll turn it around and we'll try and whack it one more time. Nope. One more time. So this really struggles to cut this target here. Let me see. Try one last time. Right there. I'm just barely here. I'll bring this over. And we can see that the longsword just barely was able to score the top of the target, whereas the katana is completely bisecting it. So I said that at the beginning that I didn't want to compare these swords to one another, but yeah, this is obviously not the medium to be able to tell what I'm interested in, although we did learn some other interesting things along the way. So, sharp longsword, although perhaps not as sharp as I was expecting, and yeah, the Tatsu katana is a very, very fearsome cutter. So, LKChen, you have made a beautiful sword with a very sharp edge. Kudos to you. This is a spectacularly performing katana. All right, guys, until next time, take care.